Hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Nottingham Forest 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Desmond. Do you feel, on the whole, it's a fair result?
I do. It was quite a scrappy game. I thought Wolves' first half, without having a lot of quality, attacking quality, I thought they did a good job of actually frustrating Forest. They quietened down what is normally quite a loud City ground home fan base, were able to frustrate them, get it a little bit scrappy, look after the ball at times, and they survived a couple of moments when Forest had possession and got into the box and didn't really create a lot of problems. And you go 1-0 up through a fantastic solo goal from Matheus Cunha, and that's when Wolves need to build from it. And to give away what I think is quite a scrappy goal, albeit there's potentially some VAR question marks in there. Some people have mentioned about a push on Semedo, but regardless, the defending could be better. You go in at 1-1, and the second half was fairly similar, but a bit more exciting, a bit more end-to-end, and both sides had chances, and Wolves get a point. A fair point, I think, on the balance of the game against a side who's really scrappy for their lives at the moment.
Yeah, I actually felt that towards the end of the game it was a pretty enjoyable game to watch. After the first 15-20 minutes. It was a struggle, but at the same time, that was maybe by design, especially for Wolves, who were playing very, very narrow. It looked like where were the goals coming from, and of course, you mentioned there, but Matheus Cunha, I mean, goodness me, his first start, since limping off, was it now 6-7 weeks ago? Longer now?
It was 7 weeks ago that he was out. He's been obviously in the squad the last 2 weeks. So what was it? 9 weeks or so?
From his last start, and goodness me, that was, as they smashed the seats here, an unbelievable finish. I mean, literally run the length of the half and beating 2 or 3, and it's just a fantastic finish. Sends the crowd into raptures. It's a fantastic sight, but also it's a little bit frustrating because you watch his performance today, getting those 2 goals. You think what could have been over the last 3 or 4 games, but great to have him back. I think almost 80 minutes of football today. He looks like he's fighting for it. I think he could have probably lasted, but by design was obviously going to be taken off, which is difficult when you're on a hat-trick and chance to win the game, but I think it was the right call.
Yeah, like, a few fans responding saying, what on earth is Matheus Cunha coming off with 15 minutes to go?
But look at the injury list, that's why.
Exactly, he's just come back from a very serious hamstring injury that he came back incredibly quick from, and considering what happened to Pedro Neto and the injury issues Wolves have had in general, it's understandably Wolves supporters, and he still lasted 75 minutes, which is good going, considering. So absolutely the right decision to take him off, regardless of where Wolves are at in the game. But the goal itself, I think it's brilliant vision from Jose Sarr to release the ball when he does, and from there Cunha's got no support. Sarabia struggled big time today, by the way, again. Nowhere near Matheus Cunha. He runs off on his own. He's got 2 or 3 defenders around him, wriggles between 2 and puts it in the top corner off the post. It's absolutely outstanding play and finish from what is a special footballer. And then the second goal for him is scrappy, but reacting to it first within that 6-yard box is what Wolves need and what Wolves have missed over the last 2 years.
Someone taking a gamble.
Someone in there, poaching. And you can score the spectacular and you do the exact opposite kind of goal and score the scrappy ones as well. That's when you know he's a good player. 11 goals in the league, I believe, now for him. Or maybe 11 goals.
No, in the Premier League,
Is that just in the Premier League? I wasn't sure if it was all competitions. But either way, I mean, and that's an outstanding return from him. And I believe his best return ever in the top 5 European leagues. So, really good.
It was great to see him back. Great to see him, back to the sorts of levels. He's still got a little bit to go, but the kind of levels where we saw previously at Stamford Bridge. 2 points. First of all, the equalizer for Nottingham Forest. Bad time to concede. What did you make of Morgan Gibbs-White's goal and also celebration, more importantly?
Yeah, I haven't seen a replay, so I do need to see a replay to determine whether it is a foul, and there's a lot of clamour for it potentially being a foul. Again, need to see a replay, but from what I did see, it looked like he might have run off Kilman potentially.
And pushed Semedo.
And potentially pushed Semedo. A couple of question marks over Jose Sarr as well. So need to see it again to sort of proper reaction to it, but regardless, Wolves need to defend better. The celebration was always going to happen, wasn't it? I mean, look.
He needs to do that right in front of the. I mean, he made a beeline. He's right in front of the Forest fans. Turns, says 1 to minute. I mean,
it's like he gives a bit, the fans give a bit. I don't mind it.
Just don't play the victim card when that comes across. You know what I mean?
That's a fair point as well. That's a fair point. I don't mind it too much, but it's just it's a little bit pantomime, isn't it? But
you do exactly the same, wouldn't you? I know you'd be that type of player, wouldn't you? I just want to punch your face.
It is what it is. And the timing conceding is frustrating, obviously, and then. The manner of the second goal for Forest, I think, is disappointing. Well, slightly unfortunate with the way it bounces off Matt Doherty to come back to Gibbs-White, but just a bit sloppy all round, really, and allowing Gibbs-White to run at the defence in the manner he did that led up to the goal. Slightly unfortunate, equal parts poor defending, and to get yourself back into it was commendable, really. I think a fair point on the balance.
Absolutely, and look, didn't score or assist today. However, I really felt that when Hwang Hee-chan came on this pitch, Wolves looked a different side altogether. They looked more threatening. There was more routes. There was more play. Players were taking away. Defence were taking away. Whereas, you're looking at Matheus Cunha on his own sometimes, and you think he's a little bit of a full-on figure because the thing you stop him, he's the big threat. You've got other players going wide, but they're not really going to hurt you. Hwang straight into the box, goes down, not given. But all of a sudden, Wolves become a more threatening team to watch and a better team to watch.
Yeah, it's not just his performance, which I thought was pretty decent when he came on, but it's the shape that he gives Wolves. It's the runs he makes. He's much better at holding the ball up and linking play. So all of these things just allow players around Hwang to start to get more involved in the game. And Wolves did pretty well in midfield today as well, and that helped, I think, Wolves win those battles. Interesting, João Gomez coming off in the second half on a booking, and I don't know what he ate for breakfast this morning, but he was a little bit peed off.
A little bit feisty, maybe didn't he? Maybe he's hungry.
Well, there you go, a little bit feisty today, which again, I don't mind, but they had to almost protect him and take him off, which was interesting. I thought Tommy Doyle and Mario Lemina had pretty decent games on the balance of it, and that gave Wolves the leverage really to start releasing players like Hwang, and I mentioned Sarabia. I thought really struggled. Wolves would carry him in the second half really, and obviously Gary's got limited options, so Trejo and Fraser come on. I think you'd gone down to see the fans by this point, but people like Traore finished the game at right wing back.
Did he? Excellent.
Which against Hudson-Odoi did give me a few fears.
Was that just resting Semedo, do we feel, or was that a knock? Or?
No, it didn't seem injured. He just looked down on his feet, I think. And considering that if he got a late booking, it meant he'd have missed 2 games as well. I think it was probably a smart decision, albeit a slight risk to play people got Traore
at 2-2.
And at 2-2 exactly. And they got away with it. He wasn't really in any trouble at any points. But Wolves have maybe patched together a little bit the way they finished that game. But overall, coming back to your first point, having Hwang back in there seemed to give them a big boost.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen whether Hwang will be fit to start next Saturday against Arsenal, but might have a bit of a chance. You never know. You think probably another substitute appearance and maybe available maybe for that Bournemouth game in midweek. But you look at Craig Dawson, who wasn't used today, who was on the bench. I still feel Wolves are a better side defensively with Craig Dawson. I think if he's 100% or close to 100%, I think Gary Neal will want him against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think so. Just coming back to Hwang very quickly on that point. He did play a fair few minutes. He came on, 57, 58 today.
So maybe you get 60 out of him, maybe?
So you might get that amount of minutes out of him.
But with 2 games in a week, it's...
Again, exactly. And then with Dawson, it'd be one to ask Gary, and I think we will at this press conference coming up shortly, is he fit and ready to play, considering he's on the bench? Is it a selection decision, hence why you're playing Santi Bueno? Santi, by the way, I thought did quite well today in the balance of it. So I think he will want Dawson back in, but it'd be very interesting to see what Gary says, because I think, at least publicly, he's been quite pleased with what Santi Bueno's been doing.
Final question. We said that this was a must-win game for Wolves if they were to have hopes of European football this season. Is the European dream over? Has it died at City Ground?
Until it's mathematically over, it's never over, but I think for me it's very unlikely at this point. 6 games to go, obviously a fair few home games in there, which are going to be massive opportunities for Wolves, but they're going to need some help from elsewhere, some luck. Obviously look at results elsewhere today as well. It's going to make it difficult, in my opinion. The challenge now for Wolves, in my opinion, is do not let it fizzle out. Give the fans something to cheer about. Finish what has been a brilliant season on a high and prepare for next season. But they've surprised us in the past. So let's wait and see.
Say never. 3-0 over Arsenal, and all of a sudden we're getting excited again, aren't we? Forest 2, Wolves 2. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandStar.com.